Yeah.
Well, you want to use your smell.
You're right, actually. That's
Ooh, easy one. We are online.
You need to get like a stand to hold it.
I know, I'm like, I hope I don't start shaking. And yours is
Okay, I think we'll get started. I would like to welcome you all to this special meeting of council. It's an exciting day, an exciting evening, and we are going to do some very special things. You hear me? Maybe it looks so close. Is this better? Well, we're going to get started right off the bat, so I want to introduce to you okay. Well, at least you'll all hear me, and you'll hear the echo over and over too. We have a very special visitor here tonight, and actually I saw him just over 4 years ago when he also swore in the council of that day. So we again have Honorable Gerald Albright here to do honors with you tonight, and I would like to welcome him. Can you join me in welcoming him? Now, I think that he has a few things that he'd like to say to us, and he's going to take it from here. And we're going to get started with first the council.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, and trust me, we're all distinguished guests. My name is Gerald Albright. I'm a longtime court of bench justice. Most lawyers say too, but not to my face in court. It's what's said behind the scenes. I've been responsible to do many, many things in my career, to speak in various gatherings and things of that nature. And this is one of the more pleasant things that I get to do in my career. I had the pleasure of belonging with Mayor Spence 4 years ago and various members of council to swear in the council on that occasion, that particular regard. So this is very special time for me. it's one that I truly appreciate. And I thank you for the invitation, Dawn. I promised I wouldn't make a comment about Miami Vice, CSI, Miami CSI, but you were much more pleasant than that Dawn Johnson was. I want to assure you. But lest we think this is just a ceremonial occasion, each of you at the end of this evening is going to face the other side of me as a court of Queen's Bench justice. You're going to be sentenced. You are each going to be sentenced to 4 years of hard labor with community service with absolutely no possibility of parole. It will be a tough 4 years for you, and I hope you get through it. The irony of it all is that most of you, if not all of you, will do such a good job that you'll probably be sentenced to a further 4 years at the expiration of these 4 years. So I've got the door locked so none of you can leave. And our fire chief, who was at one time esteemed member of the RCMP, assures me none of you will be able to escape until we're finished the evening and Dawn Johnson leads you away to your punishment. I hope you don't mind if I make some comments about municipal government. I make these comments because I firmly believe that they reflect the reality of the times that we live in, the citizens that you represent live in, the community that you are responsible for. Make no mistake about it, you are responsible for this community. So let me share with you a few thoughts that I have about this. Municipal governments are responsible for providing a great many services that citizens rely on daily, including strategic land use, subdivision, and zoning approval, maintenance of the local roads that those citizens drive. And of course, right now, as I reminded Cheryl Spence on the last occasion, snow removal in that regard. This is such a tight-knit community and council that I have a feeling that if I were around long enough, I'd see someone be driving the graders, but I'm hoping that snow would be removed by then. I also want to observe that municipal governments make up perhaps the most important component of the overall structure of government. Not only do they affect citizens directly, it is also easier for those citizens to interact with local government officials because their offices and city council meetings are close by. Many people go through a year or 2 years or 4 years an election cycle and never see a member of parliament. They never see a member of the legislative assembly. But it's rare that they don't run into you at the grocery store, on the street, at a ball diamond or a hockey game. You're there, you're up close and personal with them. And that's what municipal government is. It's up close and personal. Not all people understand the true significance of municipal governance. It literally affects every aspect of daily lives, from access to clean drinking water, bylaws, garbage collection, new housing, and transportation. There is no level of government which does more for the people that are its constituents than municipal government. And I commend you for that. Each of you has earned the trust and respect of your neighbors in the city of Warman. They know you, and they clearly believe you will conscientiously and fairly carry out your solemn responsibilities on their behalf. You must continue, however, to earn that trust daily and weekly and monthly, and the respect that's placed in your hands. You must continue to earn them, and you must fulfill the oath that you will be shortly taking as you go through your daily functions. That's part of the trust that's been placed in you, and that's part of the price of that trust that you have to deliver. In that regard, with this trust placed in your hands, I wish each of you every success in your individual careers, your individual participation, and your collective efforts as members of the City Council for the City of Warman. The City of Warman has become an incredibly dynamic place in that regard. I remember at the beginning of my career, driving from court in Saskatoon to Prince Albert or vice versa, driving by the outskirts of Warman And it was pretty quick. It was a pretty quick pass by in that particular regard. I'm absolutely amazed over the years to watch the growth in this community. And it's been growth that's been organized. And it's people like Warman and Spence, and those of you who have served on council who have made it that way. The growth has been measured, the growth has been counted upon, and it's been dealt with very effectively in that regard. The city of Warman, I don't simply say this to have those of you who make a difference on the back, but the city of Warman truly is an example across this province for what a small community becoming a middle-sized community, becoming a city can do. I commend all of you for that, because without the efforts of you as councillors and support staff to the councillors, this community would not be what it is. So you can look in the mirror and take great pride at what you have accomplished and what you are going to accomplish. Each of you who has been elected to this council, the 6 councillors and the mayor, have unique backgrounds and skills and experiences. Each of you has a skill set that makes you unique in that regard. And it's interesting because these skill sets all come together and they work together. And the collective is stronger than the individual. And that's part of the strength of government, period, but particularly part of the strength of municipal government. So you join what I consider to be the primary level of governance in the country of Canada, a country where we are clearly a democracy. I won't make the political comments about our neighbors to the south, but we are clearly a country that believes in the rule of law and the rule of government, the 3 levels of government that are here. And I commend each one of you for having stepped up, placed your name, and become a member of this council. So I'm now going to administer the oaths to you in this particular regard. I will keep my distance as I administer the oaths rather than put my mask on and off and on and off. By the way, I happen to believe very strongly in the mask and the use of the mask. If I were to put this mask on, you would have no idea what oath I was administering to you. You might realize that you had just been sworn in as a member of the RCMP. So I want to make sure you know what you're getting into when I deal with this. So I'm going to call upon you in the order in which Don Johnson has very effectively set the program forward. I'm going to ask each of you in turn to come forward and stand off to my left as I administer the oath to you. I'm then going to have you sign the oath, and I will sign the oath verifying your signature. So if I could call upon Councillor Richard Bed, Councillor-elect Richard Bed. Yes, thank you for coming forward. Would you repeat after me? I, Richard Bed,
I, Richard Beck,
having been elected to the office of councillor
having been elected to the office of council
in the city of Warman,
in the city of Warman,
do solemnly promise and declare
solemnly promise and declare
that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially,
that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
perform the duties of this office.
perform the duties of this office.
I am qualified to hold the office
I am qualified to hold this office,
to which I have been elected.
to which I have been elected.
I have not received and will not receive
I have not received and will not receive
any payment or reward
any payment or reward,
or promise of payment or reward
or promise of payment
for the exercise of any corrupt practice
for the exercise of any corrupt practice
or other undue execution or influence of this office.
or other.
Let me give you that again.
And
Okay. Or other undue execution or influence of this office.
other execution and influence of this office.
I have read, understand, and agree
I have read, understand, and agree
to abide by the code of ethics
to abide abide by the code of ethics,
rules of conduct and procedures
rules of conduct and procedures
applicable to my position as a member of council,
applicable to my position as a member of council,
required of me by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
required by me by the Cities Act, and any other act, and by council.
I will A, perform the duties of office
I will perform the duties of this office
imposed by the Cities Act
imposed by the Cities Act
and any other act or law and by the council.
or any other act or bylaw of the council.
Just interject, Richard, you're a good student. You know, this isn't a test. I don't want to put you through a test. You could hold the oath in front of you and I'll read it in a little longer bits. You've done really, really well. He gets an A, okay, all right. So let's go back to this. I will A, perform the duties of council imposed by the Cities Act and any other act or law by the council.
So I will A, perform the duties of office imposed by the Cities Act or any other act or law by the council.
B, I will disclose any conflict of interest in the meaning of Part 7 of the Cities Act.
B, I will disclose any conflict of interest within the meaning of Part 7 of the Cities Act.
And lastly, that I will comply with the Code of Ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to the office I now hold that are imposed by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
C, I will comply with the Code of Ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to the office I now hold that are imposed by the Cities Act and any other act by the council.
Thank you, Richard. Richard, I will have you sign the declaration. You solemnly declared that. Each of you has your own pen, and you were apparently to take it with you. Just one, Richard. Okay. Richard, thank you very much. Congratulations on your election as a member of council of the city of Warman. It's Oh, Richard said, why did I have to go first? Richard, did you do something to Dawn's car or something? I'm not sure. Well, you did well. As you've seen, what will make a little more sense is if each of you is bringing a copy of the oath forward, I'll read it in bigger parts so that we will be done by 11. Okay? Tracy Johnson, did I ask you to come forward? I look forward to seeing further growth in the city of Warman. The north end of Saskatoon is a little bit concerned that before you know it, the area where I live around that Crescent is going to be considered part of the city of Warman. But I don't know, Tracy, it's okay. So we're going to administer the oath. You have it with you. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it paragraph at a time. Thanks, guys. You solemnly promise and declare that on the duties of this office.
1, I will truly, faithfully, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform the duties of this office.
2, I am qualified to hold the office to which I have been elected.
2, I am qualified to hold the office to which I've been elected.
I just want to stop here. Did you get that? I am. You notice the emphasis there in relation to it? You're going to go far. That is the commitment. I am. Thank you for that. Number 3, I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise of payment or reward for for the exercise of any corrupt practice or other undue execution or influence of this office.
3, I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise of payment or reward for the exercise of any corrupt practice or other undue execution or influence of this office.
4, I have read, understand, and agree to abide by the Code of Ethics, Rules of Conduct, and procedures applicable to my position as a member of council, required of me by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
4, I have read, understand, and agree to abide by the Code of Ethics, Rules of Conduct, and procedures applicable to my position as a member of council required of me by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
5, I will A, perform the duties of office imposed by the Cities Act and any other act or law and by the council.
5, I will A, perform the duties of office imposed by the Cities Act and any other act or law and by the council.
B, disclose any conflict. In other words, again, I will disclose any conflict of interest within the meaning of Part 7 of the Cities Act.
B, I will disclose any conflict of interest within the meaning of Part 7 of the Cities Act.
And C, I will comply with the Code of Ethics, Rules of Conduct, and procedures applicable to the office I now hold that are imposed by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
And I will comply with the Code of Ethics, Rules of Conduct, and procedures applicable to the office I now hold that are imposed by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
This is declared before me at Warman, Saskatchewan, on the 16th day of November 2020. Congratulations on your election. I wish you I now call upon Marshall C. You should know, Marshall, I already like you a lot. That was my father's name. You don't see it very often. And I've always said that all marshals are absolutely the best. Besides, you couldn't be a sheriff being a marshal.
I hope I won't be wrong.
You have the growth in front of you. Thanks, Marshall. Marshall, would you repeat after me? I, Marshall C., having been elected to the office of councillor in the city of Warman,
I, Marshall C., have been elected to the office of councillor in the city of Warman.
do solemnly promise and declare that
I solemnly promise and declare that
1, I will truly, faithfully, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform the duties of this office.
1, I will truly, faithfully, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform the duties of this office.
I am qualified to hold the office to which I have been elected.
I am qualified to hold the office to which I have been elected.
I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise of payment or reward for the exercise of any corrupt practice or other undue execution or influence of this office.
I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise of payment or reward for the exercise of any corrupt practice or other undue execution or influence of this office.
I understand and agree to abide by the code as a member of the council required of me by the Cities Act and any other act by the council.
I have read, understood, and agreed to abide by the Code of Ethics, Rules of Conduct, and procedures applicable to my position as a member of council, required of me by the Cities Act and any other act by the council.
I will, A, perform the duties of office imposed by the Cities Act and any other act or law and by the council.
Will A, perform the duties of the office imposed by the Cities Act and any other act or law and by the council.
I will disclose any conflict of interest within the meaning of Part 7 of the Cities Act.
I will disclose any conflict of interest within the meaning of Part 7 of the Cities Act.
And I will comply with the Code of Ethics, Rules of Conduct, and procedures applicable to the office I now hold that are imposed by the Cities Act any other act by the council.
And I will comply with the code of ethics, rules of conduct, procedures applicable to the office I now hold, that are imposed by the Cities Act and any other act.
Thank you, Marshall. This is now declared before me at Warman, Saskatchewan, this 16th day of November, 2020. Thank you, Marshall, and congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And call on Trevor Peters. Trevor, why don't you just pick one of those up and follow along, because it's saying this, wait, I've got your copies. Why don't I give you one? Okay, go to one time. Just a comment that is applicable to some council, a little different comment applicable to others. Some of you are incumbents. And in this particular regard, Trevor, you're an incumbent. In that incumbents, you knew. I put you in trouble last time, 4 years ago, and you had to go through the 4 years, and you came back and sought another term. So I give you a lot of credit. You're what the Army would call foot soldiers. And for those of you who, I know you're sitting there who aren't incumbents, but you're new councilors, you're wondering, what is this guy getting me into here in that regard? I want to assure you, I'm getting you into, along with everybody else that voted for you, lifetime experience. So Trevor, would you repeat after me? The following. I, Trevor Peterson, having been elected to the office of councilor in the city of Warman,
I, Trevor Peterson, having been elected to the office of councillor in the city of Warman,
do solemnly promise and declare that
do solemnly promise and declare that
I will truly, faithfully, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform the duties of this office.
I will truly, faithfully, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform the duties of this office.
I am qualified to hold the office to which I have been elected.
I am qualified to hold the office to which I have been elected.
I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise of payment or reward for the exercise of any corrupt practice or other undue execution or influence of this office.
I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise of payment or reward for the exercise of any corrupt practice or other undue execution or influence of this office.
I have read, understand, and agree to abide by the code of ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to my position as a member of council, required of me by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
I have read, understand, and agree to abide by the code of ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to my position as a member of council required of me by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
I will perform the duties of office imposed by the Cities Act and any other act or law by the council.
I will perform the duties of office imposed by the Cities Act and any other act or law by the council.
I will disclose any conflict of interest within the meaning of Part 7 of the Cities Act.
I will disclose any conflict of interest within the meaning of Part 7 of the Cities Act.
And I will comply with the code of ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to the office I now hold that are imposed by the Cities Act and any other act by the council.
I will comply with the code of ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to the office I now hold that are imposed by the Cities Act and any other act by the council.
This is declared before me at Warman, Saskatchewan, the 16th day of November, 2020. Thank you, Trevor. Congratulations. You get to keep the pen. That's the highlight of the 4 years. Don, they are nice pens. I tell you, good choice there. like to call upon the next councillor to take the oath. I'd like to call on Doug Ramage, if I could. And Doug is a newly elected councillor. Saw Doug trying to get out the back door, but fire chief wouldn't let him. Thank you, Doug. You got the oath? You got it. Thank you. Doug, would you repeat after me the following? I, Doug Ramage, having been elected to the office of councillor in the city of Warman,
I, Doug Ramage, having been elected to the office of councillor in the city of Warman,
do solemnly promise and declare that
solemnly promise and declare that
I will truly, faithfully, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform the duties of this office.
I will truly, faithfully, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform the duties of this office.
I am qualified to hold the office to which I have been elected.
I am qualified to hold the office to which I have been elected.
I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward, or promise of payment or reward, for the exercise of any corrupt practice or other undue execution or influence of this office.
I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward, or promise of payment or reward, for the exercise of any corrupt practice or other undue execution or influence of this office.
I have read, understand, and agree to abide by the code of ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to my position as a member of council required of me by the Cities Act and any act by the council.
And agree to abide by the code of ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to my position as a member of council required of me by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
I will, A, perform the duties of office imposed by the Cities Act and any other act or law by the council.
I will perform the duties of office imposed by the Cities Act and any other act or law and by the council.
I will disclose any conflict of interest within the meaning of Part 7 of the Cities Act.
I will disclose any conflict of interest within the meaning of Part 7 of the Cities Act.
And I will comply with the code of ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to the office I now hold that are imposed by the Cities Act and any other act by the council.
And I will comply with the code of ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to the office I now hold that are imposed by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
This is declared before me at Warman, Saskatchewan, the 16th day of November, 2020. Congratulations, Doug, and thank you very much for coming forward. Just about got preempted there. That was about to sign what I do, but nice try, Doug. Thank you for that. Now call upon Kevin Tooley, a name that's not unfamiliar. Kevin, I take it it says you will always be obedient to your uncle, okay? Kevin, you are an incumbent and been re-elected in that regard. And my comments earlier about incumbents is what you do. It shows a continuing, for you and all the incumbents, it shows a continuing commitment to council and continuing support by the members of your community. Would you repeat after me the following? I, Kevin Tooley, having been elected to the office of councillor in the city of Warman,
I, Kevin Tooley, having been elected to the office of councillor in the city of Warman,
do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, I am qualified to hold the office to which I have been elected. I have not and will not receive any payment or reward or promise of payment or reward for the exercise of any corrupt practice or other undue execution or influence of this office.
I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise of payment or reward for the exercise of any corrupt practice or other undue execution or influence of this office.
I have read, understand, and agree to abide by the Code of Ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to my position as a member of council, required of me by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
I have read, understand, and agree to abide by the Code of Ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to my position as a member of council required of me by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
I will perform the duties of office imposed by the Cities Act and any other act or law and by the council.
I will perform the duties of office imposed by the Cities Act and any other act or law and by the council.
I will disclose any conflict of interest within the meaning of Part 7 of the Cities Act.
I will disclose any conflict of interest within the meaning of Part 7 of the
And I comply with the Code of Ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to the office I now hold that are imposed by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
And I will comply with the Code of Ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to the office I now hold that are imposed by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
This is declared before me at Warman, Saskatchewan, this 16th day of November, 2020. I'd like to call one very special individual in relation to it. Before he comes up, because I don't want him standing up here while I talk about him, rather he was embarrassed over by the wall in that regard. You know, on a council such as this, you are all equal. Each of you has a vote that is equal to every other vote in relation to it. But the mayor is an individual who is what I will call the first among equals, if I can put it on that basis. So here you are in this council, the first among equals. You are the one member of council who was not required to run in the election. And you know, that says many things. In all seriousness, what it says to me is that people understood and knew what you did as the councilor in your former life as a member of this council. They respected what you did, as they had with Mayor Spence, did with Mayor Spence. They recognized an individual who was a quality individual with the qualifications, the characteristics that would make a good mayor of their community. And in many ways, it's a real accolade to you that no one was prepared to run against you. I would simply suggest to you that you should take that as a very wide acknowledgement of your suitability for the office of mayor of the city of Warman. So would you come forward? Gary, there's some responsibilities that come with this that you might not realize. You are actually now the captain of the ship. And as long as you don't hit any reefs, rocks, coral things, so that the ship doesn't capsize, you're going to be just fine. Remember, if those things happen, the first person they're calling is you. And I have no doubt you have a list of phone numbers. Gary, would you, it's a pleasure to administer this oath as the ministers. Repeat after me the following, please. I, Gary Filipchuk,
I, Gary Filipchuk,
having been elected to the office of mayor in the city of Warman,
having been elected to the office of mayor in the city of Warman,
do solemnly promise and declare that
solemnly promise and declare that
I will truly, faithfully, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform the duties of this office.
I will truly, faithfully, and impartially, to the best of my knowledge and ability, perform the duties of this office.
I am qualified to hold the office to which I have been elected.
I am qualified to hold the office to which I've been elected.
I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise of payment or reward for the exercise of any corrupt practice or other undue execution or influence of this office.
I have not received or will not receive any payment or reward or promise of payment or corrupt practice or any kind of this office.
I have read, understand, and agree to abide by the Code of Ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to my position as a member of council, required of me by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
I have read, understand, and agree to abide by the Code of Ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to my position as a member of council, required of me by the Cities Act or any other act and by the council.
I will perform the duties of office imposed by the Cities Act and any other act or law and by the council.
I will perform the duties of office imposed by the Cities Act or any other act or law and by the council.
I will disclose any conflict of interest within the meaning of Part 7 of the Cities Act.
I will disclose any conflict of interest within the meaning of Part 7 of the Cities Act.
And I will comply with the Code of Ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to the office I now hold that are imposed by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
I will comply with the Code of Ethics, rules of conduct, and procedures applicable to the office I now hold that are imposed by the Cities Act and any other act and by the council.
This is declared before me in the city of Warman, in the province of Saskatchewan, on the 16th day of November, 2020. I congratulate you on becoming the mayor of the city of Warman, and I wish you all the best in leading council as you will over the next 4 years on many projects that are up front for the city of Warman, that you will be a face that the city of Warman can be proud of along with your council. Congratulations. Each of you now has a very solemn responsibility to abide by the oath that you've taken, to adhere to it in principle and in practice, and to make the citizens of your community proud of you. I congratulate all of you.
Okay, before I step away, I do want to say congratulations to each of you. It is my wish that your time on council will be as rewarding as mine was. It will be a fantastic journey for you ahead of you. Just so you know that the work starts now, and there's lots of it. I have faith in each and every one of you. Now, it is my honor to pass over to Mayor Philip. That sounds strange. The council gavel. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm honored and humbled to have the privilege to represent the city of Warman as you again. Thank you to the Honorable Justice Albright for overseeing our swearing in. I want to first acknowledge and thank all of our outgoing elected officials for giving us such a great foundation to build on. It was also important to thank their families for providing them the time to serve the city of Warman to do this. So thank you, Cheryl and Dave Spence, Kendall and Mark Schramm, Brian and Don Jones. Also, thank you for leaving us an incredible team of managers and staff that will work to put our vision into a reality. Congratulations to our new incumbents, Councilor Richard Beck, Councilor Trevor Peterson, Councilor Kevin Tulin. and the newly elected councillors, Councillor Teresa Johnson, Councillor Doug Ramage, and Councillor Marshall C. As I reflect back on the last year, things have changed so much. None of us could imagine all the factors that we have to take into consideration when making decisions for our community today. This should have been a big event for all of our families coming together to celebrate with us. We are living in a time of uncertainty, and I am committed to cooperate with the team to lead us out of this unprecedented time. There has never been a more important time to be nice to each other. Take the time to phone and reach out to someone daily and be kind. There is optimism for an early 2021 vaccine. It is the residents and businesses of Warman that we serve. As your newly elected officials, I want every business, organization, or resident to feel comfortable discussing what is important to them and share challenges. We will be a team that will empower our residents by working with them to solve their concerns. We are not elected to solve everyone's issues, but rather teach people the proper process to solve their own issues. Let's celebrate as we officially become the decision makers of our community, and our learning begins tomorrow with a full day of training, team building, and brainstorming. It will be great to look back 4 years from now and reflect on the impact each of you have had. Thank you to our city clerk and her team for putting this evening together. So many restrictions in place. I will end with a quote, as Mayor Spence often did. This is not the year to get everything we want. This is the year to appreciate everything we have. And with that, I will call for a motion to adjourn this special meeting of council. Motion? Councillor Tooley? Seconder? Councillor Ramage? All those in favor?